They say your home is your castle. We spend thousands of dollars on deadbolts and reinforced glass and high-tech surveillance systems to ensure that when we close our eyes at night, we are alone. But what if the very cameras meant to provide peace of mind actually reveal a nightmare that you never knew existed? Tonight we're looking at the footage that keeps homeowners awake long after the sun goes down. From entities that defy the laws of physics to human predators with terrifying habits. We begin with a chilling case from late 2025 that serves as a warning to every homeowner. A young family in Minnesota was at home when a man in a high-visibility vest carrying a branded delivery box approached their front door. The doorbell camera captures him looking calm, checking his clipboard and ringing the bell. When the homeowner opened the door, the delivery driver didn't hand over a package. Instead, the footage shows him dropping the box, which was empty, and pulling a from his waistband while two other masked men sprinted from the side of the house. The most disturbing part of this footage isn't just the violence, it's the premeditation. The camera captures the lead suspect staring directly into the lens seconds before the attack, his expression completely vacant. Police later used this high-resolution footage to track the suspect's vehicle, but the trauma left behind for the family, who were held at and while their home was ransacked, is permanent. Most doorbell camera footage captures package thieves or awkward solicitors, but in late 2025, a family in Alexandria, Virginia caught a real-life attempt that looked like a scene from a horror film. Three individuals dressed in high-end realistic masks, a distorted clown, a pale nun, and a slasher villain approached the front door of Shayla Whiteside's home. The coordination was what made it so disturbing. They didn't just knock, they began a methodical psychological. The footage shows them screaming, "It's either you come out or we come in," while pounding on the door with enough force to rattle the hinges. Shayla was inside with her elderly mother. The group tormented them for nearly 10 minutes, knowing that they were being recorded in high definition. They even took turns staring directly into the camera lens and laughing. This wasn't a random crime of opportunity, it was a targeted act of terror. The Alexandria Police Department had initially said that those responsible could face criminal charges. It was later revealed, though, that the three masked teens were actually related to the homeowner. The homeowners were believed not to have known who was responsible for the horrifying prank until police told them. The Whitesides have chosen not to press charges on the teens, so the pranksters' identities will remain private. A woman and her relatives had gone to a country house in the middle of nowhere when the paranormal activity started. She pulled out her phone and began filming as something strange began to happen in the living room. The resulting footage is terrifying. In a room with no open windows and no central air turned on, an antique wooden rocking chair begins to move. It doesn't just vibrate, it swings back and forth with incredible momentum, reaching the physical limits of the chair's design. Two other relatives, including a boy, cower behind a doorway as the rocking picks up in its intensity. The clip was posted to TikTok and it has since been watched 1.1 million times. Now, while many people believe the footage is real, not everyone, however, was convinced that the events had a supernatural explanation. One person pointed out that someone could be moving the chair by hiding behind the window and pulling it with a fishing line. All I know is that rocking chairs are beyond creepy to me. At 2:39 in the morning, a backyard security camera captures something that still hasn't been explained. The camera sits at the far edge of the property, mounted roughly 10 feet up and facing directly into a massive forest that stretches for more than 10,000 acres. There are no streetlights, no cabins, no trails, just miles of dense protected woodland. And on this night, something came walking out of it. In the footage, a tall figure slowly emerges from the darkness of the trees, moving toward the street. What makes it unsettling isn't just where it came from, it's how it moves. The motion is unusually slow and deliberate, almost unnatural. Based on the camera's height and angle, whatever this is would have to stand over 9 feet tall. There are no edits to the clip, no enhancements. This is the raw footage exactly as it was recorded. But it gets even stranger. Shortly after the figure appears, the camera begins picking up unidentified sounds coming from the forest. Low, strange noises that continue for nearly 30 seconds before the recording ends. Watching it back gave the homeowner chills, especially knowing this happened just steps away from their house. This forest rarely sees hunters or hikers because it is heavily protected. So the question remains, what exactly walked out of the woods that night? When people hear strange noises in the middle of the night, they usually blame it on something simple. A gust of wind, a loose object, maybe even a family pet knocking something over. But what one man captured inside his apartment might be a little bit harder to explain. Rusty Johnson, who lives in Fayetteville, North Carolina, says that he came home one evening to find a few things in his kitchen strangely out of place. Curious and a little uneasy, he decided to check the footage from a camera that he had set up inside of his apartment. What he saw left him completely shaken. The video appears to show kitchen items suddenly sliding and falling off the counters on their own. Pieces of paper flutter to the floor. Kitchenware shifts and drops without anyone visible in the room. Rusty says watching the footage back terrified him. He described a strange sensation, almost like something was watching him while he was reviewing the recording. He says that he experienced a powerful and unexplained wave of anger that lasted for nearly half an hour, despite having nothing to be upset about. Rusty had been living in this apartment for almost a year, but he says the strange activity only started about 2 months ago. Now he's seriously considering breaking his lease and moving out. Until then, he plans to keep the cameras rolling, hopefully to capture more evidence of whatever might be inside his home. For more than 10 years, one homeowner says something strange has been happening at the small playground behind their house. From the kitchen sink window, they have a clear view of the park, especially the swing set. And every so often, one particular swing starts moving on its own. Not swaying lightly in the breeze, but swinging back and forth at a steady pace. According to the homeowner, it can go on for 5 minutes, sometimes even longer. There have been times when they checked on it again an hour later and the swing was still moving at almost the exact same speed. At first it seemed easy to blame the wind, but after watching it for years they noticed something odd. On windy days both swings move slightly together, yet on calm days with no breeze at all, only one swing begins moving. And the park itself? It's well maintained, frequently used, and surrounded by daycares, which makes the empty, laughing swing feel even more unsettling. Late one night at 1:32 a.m., a homeowner received a motion alert from their security camera. They were still awake in bed when the notification popped up, so naturally they checked the footage right away. What they saw immediately made them uneasy. The camera, which monitors the hallway inside the house, appears to capture a blurry figure moving through the frame. The shape is hard to make out clearly, but it definitely looks like something or someone passing through the hallway. The strange part? The homeowner says that they didn't hear a single sound. No footsteps, no doors opening, nothing at all. And they live completely alone. To make things even more unsettling, they had just moved into the house a week earlier, and for the past 9 days they say that they had felt a strange presence in the home, an uneasy feeling that something wasn't quite right. Then this appeared on camera. Convinced the house might be haunted, the homeowners shared the images online asking what they should do next, but not everyone in the discussion was convinced that it was paranormal. Some users suggested a more logical possibility, that the blurry figure might actually be a squatter hiding somewhere in the home, because before assuming something supernatural, it might be worth ruling out something far more real and far more dangerous. A peaceful evening in Las Vegas turns into a silent nightmare as 2 intruders slip into a home while the owners sleep just feet away. In September 2017, near Las Vegas, Nevada, surveillance footage captured 2 men climbing over a back wall into the backyard of a residence. They approached an unlocked back door and quietly slide it open to enter the interior. The video shows them creeping through the kitchen area, carefully avoiding noise as they search for items. They steal multiple valuables, one of which includes a purse lying nearby. Throughout the footage, the homeowners remain asleep on the living room couch, oblivious to the presence of the intruders who walk mere feet away from them. The men move with caution, indicating that they are aware of the occupants but proceed anyways. After gathering what they can, they exit the same way that they entered. The homeowners discovered the theft later and reviewed the footage, which was shared with police. Despite investigations, the 2 burglars have never been identified or apprehended. On January 1st, 2026, shortly after midnight in Bermuda, Ring doorbell camera footage captured 3 individuals approaching the front door of a residence under the cover of darkness. The video shows them huddling together, testing the doorknob, and then attempting to pry or force the door open with what appears to be tools or brute strength. The footage includes close-up views of their masked or hooded figures lingering on the porch, shaking the handle repeatedly and pushing against the door frame. The suspects seemed coordinated, one keeping watch while the others work on entry, but the reinforced door holds and they eventually abandon the attempt and flee the property after several minutes of failed efforts. The homeowners, likely alerted by the camera notifications or noise, remain safe inside without confrontation. Police in Bermuda reviewed the clear footage as part of their investigation into a string of similar incidents involving Ring camera cameras capturing criminals, though the suspects were not immediately identified in public reports. At an unspecified date in New Jersey, camera footage from a phone or internal security system shows an unknown man entering the first floor of a two-story home during the night. The video captures him walking through the living area, searching drawers and rooms for valuables. He picks up items including the homeowner's purse and carries them as he moves methodically. Upstairs, the mother and her two daughters, alerted by the noise, barricade themselves in a bathroom and call the police. The footage does not show him ascending the stairs as he remains on the lower level throughout. Police arrive after he has already fled, finding the home ransacked but the family safe. The intruder was never identified, and his exact intentions, whether theft or something more harmful, are unclear. Which of these encounters would make you want to move out the very next day? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. For now, I've been your host, Johnny Rogers, and I'll see you on the next one.